Chris Godinez, licensed professional counselor, also the host of We Need to Talk on every Sunday at noon, and then I post it up to Facebook. This video is for educational and informational purposes only. The views and opinions stated herein are mine and mine alone. They do not represent the ACA, the APA, or any other therapist for that matter. Boom, shakalaka, done. I am proud to be sponsored by BetterHelp, BetterHelp, BetterHelp.com/Chris Godinez. They are an online counseling place. They get you counselors that are online. And this is great because I've had so many people from outside of the US going, I cannot find a good counselor. What am I going to do? Well, this is what you're going to do. You're going to go to betterhelp.com/Chris Godinez, which John is going to put down in the description. They will pair you with a counselor here in the US, and you can get rocking and rolling pretty much immediately. So of course there's a time difference. So you're going to have to figure out what the time difference is from whatever country you're in to this country. So also the great thing about betterhelp.com/Chris Godinez is that they can help people that are in rural areas, or let's say that you are in a city and you just cannot find a good counselor in your city, rather than having to drive 100,000 million miles to find a counselor. Get on to BetterHelp with a P, betterhelp.com/Chris Godinez. Answer some questions. They can find a licensed professional counselor, master's level or above, PhD, and put you with somebody in your state. They are all licensed. They are all master's level and PhD. So that's what I love about that. So you can find a counselor and talk to someone. So that is good. So betterhelp.com/Chris Godinez. John will put it into the description and in the chat. Okay. All right, let's get some stuff out of the way. These beauties are still for sale. I still have some left. I'm going to be ordering new ones. I think the winning saying on it is going to be boom shakalaka done. So I think that'll be the next batch of cups. But these guys are still available. They are 20 ounces. They are fabulous. I drink my coffee out of them every morning because I am a coffee fiend. So anyway, that's that. These guys are available. I think it's $24.99 on chrisgodinez.com. You can do that. Also, my books are available on there as well, and I do sign them and put in a little saying in them. And I will ship them. The shipping is included. So you buy this stuff, shipping is included, no matter where in the world you are, because I want it out of my hallway. Thank you. So anyway, both of these books are available. These are also available on Audible, and they're also available on Amazon. They just won't get autographed if you buy them on Amazon. Also, Susanna's book. Love her. I love her. I love this woman. And I'm so excited when she and I can actually get together and do seminars and stuff again. So hopefully, crossing fingers, the next year and a half, that's probably going to happen, because we were talking about that before the whole stupid pandemic hit. So yeah, so she and I are going to be putting together stuff as we're able to start congregating again. We got to figure out the legalities of it and, signing waivers and all that sort of good stuff. But anyway, Susanna's book, You're Still That Girl, is available on her website, which is SusannaQuintana.com. She is awesome sauce. She is just amazing because she's been there, done that. So I love this book. This is a great book. Now, Shahida Arabi, this is the one I recommend to all of my clients because she does journaling exercises in here. This is the Highly Sensitive Person's Guide to Dealing with Toxic People. And I love Shahida Arabi. When I get to go to New York, if she's around, I so want to meet her and just shake her hand because she's awesome. I love this book. My clients love this book. It's a good book. So there is that. I think I did everything that I needed to do. Okay, fabulous. Let's dive into it. Okay, so last week I got the question, can you give me a slightly more scientific-y, I love the way they phrased that. That was so cute. A more scientific-y reason why abusers don't change, why narcissists don't change. So we're going to dive into that because I want to give you the answer. So, all right. So here's the deal. By the time you figure out that this person is abusive. Okay, so everything is on a spectrum, right? So down here you have traits of, over here you have dark triad, right? So, and this goes with anything. And also remember, there can be multiple issues going on. So this is, again, when people are like, well, this person is doing this. Do you think they're that? And I'm like, I haven't seen them. Legally, I cannot diagnose somebody without them in front of me, right? I mean, I could give you a good guess, but, and I wouldn't even do that. But the point being is things can be comorbid. So you can have narcissism, you can have ASPD, antisocial personality disorder, right? You can have borderline personality disorder. You can have antisocial personality disorder. You can have OCD, obsessive compulsive personality disorder, coupled with psychosis, depression, anything else. You can have comorbidity. You can have more than one issue going on. And that is what's happening with the dark triads. So, and somebody also asked me about Machiavellianism. So Machiavellianism is control freak. That's what that means. It's based off Prince Machiavelli. It's a book. It was a book that was written back in the, yeah, back there. I don't know what the date is, but it's really old. And it was all about despotism. Oh, good Lord, I didn't even say that right. Dictators. It's all about dictators. It's all about, people who want to be in control, and want to manipulate and control the chessboard and, not ever be out of control. That is Machiavellianism. That's what that means. So, okay. So, and usually by the time we figure out that these people are abusive, they have slid down that road. And not only do they have the antisocial personality disorder, psychopathy going on, the Machiavellianism going on, the narcissism going on, they're sadistic. They enjoy it. They like really enjoy it. So they're getting some sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? It's almost like either a sexual pleasure out of it, or they are getting some sort of ego pleasure out of it. It is a form of narcissistic supply. They enjoy inflicting pain because it makes them feel like, a big person, which is the total opposite of what's really going on, because only douchebags do that. So, okay, hold on. Let me get rid of these things that keep popping up on the side of my thing. Okay, so what is going on is that you can help people if they are down at the lower end of the spectrum, if they don't have that predisposition to being either antisocial or narcissistic. So again, this is an imperfect science here. We're learning so much more about the brain. So if the person has got those traits and they are in a family that is just so far gone that they are abusive and they are manipulative and they are doing this, that, and the other thing, and the kid is learning all this stuff and absorbing all this stuff, the likelihood is nature, nurture. Okay, that's what I'm trying to get at. Nature, nurture. So nature is you're born with it. Nurture is what you see going on when you're growing up. So if they are born with that and then they see all this dysfunctional stuff, more than likely they will continue on down the spectrum into oblivion, basically, because you can't help them once they get down to the malignant end. So, and again, I like to point out the researcher that discovered that he had the brain of a psychopath. He was off. His family all said, there's something wrong with you. You're a little off. But he never slid down that line because he had a good family that wasn't dysfunctional and wasn't crazy and wasn't cruel and wasn't abusive and all of that good stuff. So nature nurture is huge. It really is. Okay, so let's talk about the disorders that are going on and why it makes it so difficult. So when somebody has got narcissistic personality disorder, their ego defenses are so engaged. They will not, absolutely will not be introspective. Healthy, normal people are able to contemplate the universe. What is my part in the universe? How did, what part did I play in this? How did this happen? What could I have done differently? You're introspective. You ask questions because you're not afraid to go, maybe I was wrong. Maybe I need to do this differently. Oh, okay. Well, I'll try it differently next time. That's what a healthy, normal person does. With somebody with narcissistic personality disorder, there is no there. There's no there. There is no space to be introspective because the ego is so entrenched and it is so, I'm right, you're wrong, I'm right. And it's splitting. It's black and white thinking. It's very rigid. There's no movement. So like with healthy, normal people, you're able to kind of go, oh, new incoming information. Oh, okay. Well, this doesn't match what I've learned. Well, let me investigate this. Let me see what this is all about. Let me learn. Let me grow. Let me change, right? That's what healthy, normal people do. People who have got personality disorders, especially borderline and narcissism and antisocial, They don't do that. It's too threatening to their ego. So the ego defense mechanisms are just insane. That's why they do the you guns. That's why they do the blame, shame, guilt thing, fear, obligation, guilt, manipulative, screaming rages, attempts to control, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So you are dealing with somebody who has not got any space. So do they go get help? To a degree. So let me explain. So what will happen is if the courts demand that they go to therapy, they'll go to therapy. That's basically the only time they will willingly go to therapy, is if they're going to be faced with jail time. So they'll go to therapy if they have to. They'll go to therapy and go to couples counseling if they can pick the therapist. And what they'll do is they will pick a therapist that is fresh out of school, doesn't know anything about personality disorders, has never dealt with somebody that was manipulative, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, does not know how to recognize it. This is why it's dangerous to go to therapy with somebody that has narcissism or, sliding into malignancy, because they will use what is said in therapy and use it against you. So in a healthy, normal couple goes, we're having some problems. Let's go fix this, right? You don't wait for the broken bone to set before you go to therapy. You go, oh, there's a broken bone. I need to go fix this, right? You don't wait for the tooth to rot out of your head before you go to the dentist. A healthy, normal person goes, ow, pain. Let's go to the dentist. Let's fix this, right? Narcissists don't. What they do is that I don't need therapy. You need therapy. I don't need therapy. That's one of the classics that I hear. Or therapy's bullshit. It's not going to change anything. And I'm sitting here going, oh my God. And then, of course, here's the other classic. You get them actually into a therapy session. They know more than the therapist, so they say, even though they have never studied psychology. So it's like they're know-it-alls, right? So it's dangerous to go with them into a couples session. And I can hear everyone going, but I want them to get better. Oh, Lord Jesus, yes. Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't it be wonderful if we could wave a magic wand and they would suddenly get it? They're not going to get it, guys. And it's dangerous to go with them because they will take whatever you say in therapy. Guarantee you, even before you get to the car, why did you say that? Why did you tell him that? Why did you make me look bad? Why did you guns everywhere? So yeah, that's what they will do. And then they will use that as their fodder to abuse you, and they'll flip it around and they'll claim that you're doing what you said that they were doing in therapy. They will try to manipulate the therapist. They will call the therapist. They will do a sob story. Oh, I need to see you alone. That you just don't understand. She's no. Do not. If there is abuse going on, guys, if there is name calling going on, if there is screaming, raging, if there is physical violence, if there is emotional violence, if there is any kind of violence, religious, sexual, or otherwise, do not go to therapy with these people. They, listen to me now, believe me later, they will not change. They will not. Even if you had the therapy gods come down and try to work with them, they would give them the middle finger and not change. Trust me on that one. They just don't change. So why? That's the question I get all the time. But why? So let's look at what's going on with a dark triad, shall we? It's going to give you a little bit of understanding of why their ego defenses are so insane. So we're going to look at narcissistic personality disorder coupled with antisocial personality disorder. And then I'm going to talk more about Machiavellianism and why this is just a bad combination. Okay, so narcissistic personality disorder, a pervasive pattern of grandiosity in fantasy or behavior and need for admiration and lack of empathy. There is no empathy. Healthy, normal people are able to empathize. We are able to watch somebody go through something and go, oh God, how would that feel? Oh, I can feel that. Ooh, damn. And we have empathy, and we don't want to see people suffering because we don't get off on it and we don't enjoy it. But these mother cluckers do, right? So because sadistic. So we're going to talk about that. Okay, hang on. Lack of empathy beginning in early adulthood and present in a variety of contexts is indicated by 5 or more. They only need 5. I'm going to list 9. They only need 5, okay? 5 or more of the following. 1, has a grandiose sense of self-importance, exaggerates achievements and talents, and expects to be recognized as superior without commiserate achievements. So they lie about all of their stuff. Oh, I did this, that, and the other thing, and I was in the Marines, and blah, blah, blah. And they weren't. they lie about this stuff. Is preoccupied with fantasies of unlimited success, power, brilliance, beauty, or ideal love. So that's all they talk about. That's all they think about. That's all they do. I've got a good example of that one. I dealt with one in my office at one time. This kid walks in, sits down on my couch, 19 years old, and looks at me and in all seriousness said, I need to be famous. And I'm sitting there going, okay, why? Well, I'm the greatest rapper there ever was. Sorry. I didn't laugh in session. I thought about it, but I didn't. So I was like, oh, okay, well, tell me more. So he insisted that he was the greatest rapper there ever was and that he could only associate with other great rappers and that he needed to be recognized immediately as the greatest rapper there ever was. Okay, well, do you have a group that you perform with? Are you getting any sort of accolades? Do you have a demo tape? None of that. None of that. So, and he was just livid because I wouldn't just sit there and tell him what a great rapper he was. I was like, well, what are you doing to be a great rapper? How are you going to get there? Because you're going to have to work for it, unless you're born into a rich, wealthy, famous family, you're going to have to work for it. So didn't like that. So basically told me that my office was rinky dink and stormed out. So I was like, okay, bye-bye. Don't let the screen door hit you in the rear end. So anyway, that kind of thing. So that's an example of that. You can't help people like that. There was not enough there to help the kid understand you need to actually do something to get from point A to point Z, All right. Believes that he or she is special and unique and can only be understood by or should associate with other high special status of people or institutions, kind of like what I was talking about. Requires excessive admiration every 5 minutes. Yes, you're great. Yes, you're wonderful. Yes, you're this. Yes, you're that, Constantly they fish. They're fishing for compliments. They're fishing for compliments. Tell me I'm wonderful. Tell me I'm wonderful. That kind of thing. Other esteem. Remember, they rely on other esteem. They do not have self-esteem. Healthy, normal people have self-esteem, unless, of course, you've been raised by a narcissist and they took your self-esteem away from you and you have to learn how to give yourself self-esteem. They never learn. Even when you teach them, they do not do it. So there's the difference. Okay. Has a sense of entitlement, the size of the Americas, not just North America, South America too, and probably Central America. Has a sense of entitlement, unreasonable expectations of especially favorable treatment or automatic compliance with his or her expectations. For example, showing up at a restaurant on a Friday night, pre-COVID, expecting, the best table when they've either A, made no reservation, or they show up an hour and a half late for the reservation and still expect to get the best table. That kind of thing. Then they never tip either. Oh, God. Okay. Is interpersonally exploitive, takes advantage of others to achieve his or her ends, lacks empathy. Unwilling to recognize or identify with the feelings and needs of others, shows haughty, arrogant, and nasty behaviors or attitudes. So that's 9. You only need 5 of those to be a narcissist. So now okay. So that whole I'm the greatest. I have to be better than everyone else. I'm in competition with everyone else. I'm the best one here. All of, my doo-doo doesn't stink, all of that. That does not leave room for introspection. There's no introspection there with any of those. And so in order to help someone, there has to be enough space for the therapist to get in and go, let's start looking at this. Okay, you're telling me you want to be this world's greatest rapper, but yet you don't have a group that you're working with. You have no demo tape. You haven't performed. You haven't, you see where I'm going with that. So that's what's going on. There has to be space there. There has to be a willingness to look at the mistaken thoughts and the mistaken beliefs. They don't, because they've never made a mistake in their whole entire lives in their minds. So, okay. So that's just narcissism. Let's look at antisocial personality disorder, which is the second arm of that dark triad. Where is my there it is. Okay. Hold on. Now must adjust to the reading glasses. Okay. All right. Antisocial personality disorder. A pervasive pattern of disregard for and violation of the rights of others occurring since age 15, as indicated by 3 or more of the following. So, in other words, with antisocial personality disorder, there is no boundaries. They don't understand that other people have boundaries or rights or, laws don't apply to them kind of thing, which unfortunately kind of moves in nicely to narcissism, because they feel they are special and unique and that the rules don't apply to them either, which is interesting that the two kind of dovetail into each other. Okay. Number one, failure to conform to social norms with respect to lawful behaviors is indicated by repeatedly performing acts that are grounds for arrest. Stealing, assaulting, white collar crimes, that kind of thing. Yeah, absolutely. Deceitfulness, number two. Deceitfulness is indicated by repeated lying, use of aliases, or conning others for personal profit or pleasure. So they enjoy playing the con game. They're sadistic because they think they're smarter than everybody else, much like the narcissist. So it's like, this is what they're saying in their head. I enjoy conning other people because it gives me pleasure. That's what they do. Okay. And it's disgusting. Okay. Impulsivity or failure to plan ahead. Very impulsive. Very impulsive. So it's, again, I'm going to use Buffy as that example. And I think I did the last time I talked about this, that episode in the Buffy show, which I'm dating myself now. I love that show. That was a great show. Where Faith was teaching Buffy to be bad. And so they go into this shop, and then she smashes it. I see it. I want it. I'm going to take it. And so she does. And that's that is antisocial behavior. So there's impulsivity, just doing something impulsively because I want it, kind of thing. And that's ego. That is all ego. Okay. Irritability and aggressiveness as indicated by repeated physical fights or assaults or verbal assaults. So when someone does not get their way, and we see this all the time on the internet, trolls, right? When a troll is put down or a troll is proved wrong, oh my, they get nasty. Whoo, damn, go back to hell where you belong, Satan. Seriously. I mean, it's that bad. They get vicious, they get nasty, they get verbally attacktive, verbally confrontive, and then of course you have to call the admin and be like, hi, or talk to whoever and be like, okay, this person needs to be removed because they're just verbally assaulting people. So yeah, they can't stand being wrong. They can't stand being shown up. They can't stand being proved to not be the wonderful person they think they are. And they get very angry about that. Reckless disregard for safety of self or others. So playing chicken in the car, playing Russian roulette, spending all of the rent money impulsively on gambling and then not having enough money to pay rent. That's putting other people at danger if you're living with small children, or a spouse or whatever. So yeah, that type of thing. Hang on. Okay. Consistent irresponsibility, like I was talking about, spending the rent money, gambling, et cetera, as indicated by repeated failure to sustain consistent work or honor financial obligations. Now, isn't that interesting? How many times have I had spouses of narcissists or spouses of abusers who turn out to be dark triads? Well, he doesn't work or she doesn't work. I'm the one that's supporting the family. I'm the one that's, they refuse to get a job. Every single job is beneath them. Oh, they need to have a manager job, even though they don't have, they just started in this company. They're down at the bottom and they demand a manager job right off the bat. That's narcissism. That's also ASPD, because there's this unrealistic expectation that you're going to get promoted immediately when you just started. So they don't keep jobs. They are unable to keep jobs. They have interpersonal conflicts with other coworkers, or they start telling the boss that they don't know what they're talking about when the boss does, that kind of thing. So there is that. Okay, hang on. Okay, they don't honor financial obligations. They stiff people. They don't pay them. They use their services, but then they don't pay them. That's narcissism. That's ASPD. No bueno. Lack of remorse, as indicated by being indifferent to or rationalizing having hurt, mistreated, or stolen from another. So in their minds, if you're stupid enough to get conned by them, then in their minds, you deserve it. They are a-holes. That's the nicest thing I can say. Yeah. So, yeah, there's no remorse. They don't, it's not like, you and I, normal people, we see somebody suffering or we've hurt somebody worse. And we go to make amends. We're like, what can I do to make this better? How do I make this amend? What do you need? How can I fix this? I see that I've hurt you. I have hurt you. I own that. And I feel like shit, what can I do to make this right? That's what a normal person does. What these people do, well, you deserved it. You did this. Well, you've done that too. Oh, I hate that. When working with couples, as soon as somebody says that, I go, I cannot see you as a couple. I need to do individual with both of you because I'll know right then and there, there's abuse. Yep. Oh, well, you do this too. Okay. How about you own your own crap? Thanks for playing. Bye-bye. That's another saying I might put on the cup. Okay. So yeah. So there's own your own crap. No. Anyway, sorry, brain. So yeah. So you do this too. It's all you, flipping the script, rewriting history. Sound familiar? Hello. It would help if I knew what I was doing here. Hang on. With these glasses. There is evidence of conduct disorder with onset before age 15. The occurrence of antisocial behavior is not exclusively during the course of schizophrenia or bipolar. So they do have episodes with both schizophrenia and bipolar, it can mimic antisocial. And bipolar can mimic borderline. So this is why you need to get a differential diagnosis. This is why you need to make sure, what's going on. So, okay. So how are we doing on time? Oh, good Lord. I don't have that much left. All right. So, they don't get better because when you have all of these issues going on, no remorse, arrogance, my doo-doo doesn't stink. Everyone else is wrong. It's everyone else's fault. Impulsiveness, ego. The ego is so huge in these dark triads. There is no space in there for a therapist to get in, for introspection. I mean, it would literally take, I would say, a biblical proportions miracle for this person to finally wake up. Because there's just so many ego defenses going on, so much lying to themselves going on, so much manipulation. So let's get back to manipulation. Let's get back to the Machiavellianism. Machiavellianism is an absolutely pathological need for control. So it is, I have to be in control at all times. I can never be out of control. I have to control this. I have to control that. I'm the one in charge. I'm always right. I'm never wrong. That's Machiavellianism. And they try to manipulate and control all the players on the board, meaning spouses, children, bosses, friends, if they have any, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, yeah, Machiavellianism doesn't leave any room. And it's a need to be right. It's a need to be in control. It's a need to be in charge. It's a need to feel like they are the end all and be all of the family's life, basically. No bueno. It's really no bueno. So with all of these issues going on, and then if you throw sadism into that, so sadism is somebody who gets sexual pleasure from harming people. And in their cases, it may be sexual pleasure. It may just be it's stimulating the endorphins, the dopamine, serotonins, etc., that they enjoy the power trip of harming people. I know that when my dad would say something hurtful or when he would hit one of us, he would get this sick little grin on his face like he just really enjoyed that, which is so unnatural. That is not what normal people do. Let me just say that. That is not what normal people do. Normal people don't enjoy inflicting pain. They don't enjoy inflicting power trips on people. They don't enjoy harming other people. They don't enjoy it. They just don't enjoy it. Healthy, normal people do not enjoy this kind of stuff. They, however, these abusers do. So no bueno. So a dark triad has got Machiavellianism. They need to be in control at all time. They've got the narcissism, which we talked about, no empathy, lack of empathy, expecting special treatment, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then you've got the antisocial with the impulsivity, no remorse, et cetera. And that is just a recipe for, oh my God, disaster. Seriously. So this is why you cannot help them. They will not go get help. Like I said, the only time I've ever seen them willingly go get help is when they got in trouble with the law and they had to. Or they want to get a therapist that knows nothing about personality disorders so that they can manipulate the courts Hello, does this sound familiar to any of you going through divorces? Yeah, I hear a resounding yes on that one. They will get a therapist to try to do the family, evaluation thing. Sorry, my brain just went away. The family evaluation thing, and they'll try to get a therapist that they can manipulate and control and, feed all of this bull tinky to and get their way in the custody thing. And oftentimes, and this is the thing that makes me so angry, they want full custody, not because they care about the kids, but because they don't want to be paying child support, because they don't want to give you any money, because they perceive it as going to you as opposed to it's going to the kids' welfare, which is what it should be going to. So, oh God. Anyway, so when you are dealing with these types, the natural inclination of an empath, of a normal person, is to go, gosh, wouldn't it be great if they could get fixed? They're not going to get fixed, guys. They are not. They will go to therapy for maybe 3 times unless they're court mandated, and then they'll do the whole thing and they'll just say what they think the therapist wants to hear. But maybe 3 times. And then as soon as the therapist goes, and what's your part in this? They go, you're incompetent. You don't know what you're doing, blah, 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 blah. And then they storm out. They don't stick with therapy. They don't. And they think they know it all. They do. And what they'll do is they'll go online, they'll watch a few of these videos, or they'll watch, somebody else's videos, or they'll read something online and then decide that they are now experts in this particular field. Don't even get me started. Oi, oi, oi. Don't even get me started. So yeah, so they'll do that. And then they'll try to impress the therapist with how much they know. And of course, I'm sitting there looking at them, tapping my foot going, I'm gray rocking you until you are done. Do you see where I'm going with that? So yeah, it's just, there's that. So no, they do not change. They don't want to change. They don't want to change. It would require an act of God or gods, whatever, to make this happen. It would require a biblical proportion miracle to make this happen, because they would have to overcome the ego, which is so strong. The ego is strong in this one. It's like there's so much ego there, and it would have to overcome the lack of remorse. Oh man, that's a nature thing. That's not a nurture. That's a nature thing. So lack of remorse, no sense of empathy, no ability to be like, ow, what must that feel like? That's a nature thing. You cannot overcome that. That's cooked into you when you come out of the womb. So the other behaviors, possibly if you catch them at the very beginning of it, maybe you could help them with that. But once they slide into malignancy and they are harming, abusing, sexually abusing, mentally abusing, religiously abusing, you name it, abusing, they are enjoying it. They're antisocial. They don't see anything wrong with it. They are enjoying it. They're sadistic. They're Machiavellian. They're controlling everybody and everything around them. Stick a fork in them. They are done. They don't get help. They don't want the help. Healthy, normal people, when things are wrong, we go, ooh, something's wrong. Let's fix this. With them, it's never them. It is never them. They are not introspective. There is no there there. There is no room. There is no room for introspection. When I say that, there is no room there. There is no thought that crosses their mind going, gee, what might have I done in this? They don't think like that. Nature, nurture. Nature, nurture. Column A, column B. There you go. So no, they will not change. They do not change. They do not get better. They get worse with age. I think we've talked about this, the collapsing narcissist, when they get older and they've lost their looks, their power, their money, whatever it is they were using to manipulate and control. And then all they've got left is their nastiness. And then they can't understand why they're alone in these old age care facilities and nobody wants to come visit them. Well, maybe it's because you scream at everybody and you spit at everybody. That could be it. I don't know. Maybe. Take a look. But they're never going to. They never look in the mirror and go, what is my part? Ever, 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 ever. Do I wish they would change? Yes, I do. Because then I'd be out of a job and I would be running a B&D somewhere in New Zealand. Oh, wouldn't that be nice? Anyway, so the point being is that they don't change. They're not going to change. They don't want to change. There is so much stuff going on with them that is nature. They can't change. They won't change. There's also stuff that's going on that's nurture. So you combine that, it's like the perfect storm of, oh my goodness. It's just not going to happen. They're not going to change. They're not going to get better. They're not going to grow. They're not going to figure it out. They're not going to whatever until they drop dead off this mortal coil and then go figure out whatever their lifetime was supposed to be about. So depending on your religious view. So anyway, there is that. So you've got to give up the hope that they are ever going to get better, that they are ever going to change, that they're ever going to have a, one of those V8 moments where it's like, oi, I should have done this. No, they're not ever going to do that, guys. Let go of that magic thinking. That is the inner child desperately wanting mom, dad, friend, family, whatever, to just be normal and be happy and be the person that they could be. But remember, they suck us in with that love bombing thing, with that whole, oh, look, I like pizza, you like pizza. You like to ice skate, I like to ice skate. Frozen, Prince Hans, and Anna, anybody? So they do that, and we keep desperately hoping that they'll come back to that stage, and they don't. Or if they do, it's for a teeny tiny little bit of time to suck you in, do that intermittent positive reward so that you'll stay with them and continue to be abused. Yeah, so that is that. I think next week, and I am going to go into questions here, guys. I think next week I want to talk more about CPTSD. I want to talk about the depression, because that's another question I've been getting a lot of. It's like, I'm away from the abuse. I'm thrilled I'm away from the abuse. Why am I depressed? So I want to talk about more about CPTSD and depression in regards to leaving an abusive relationship, whether that's a family, friends, parents, lover, boss, whatever. So I want to talk about that next time. Okay, let's dive into the questions. All right. So where is there it is. Okay. Can you recommend one of your past or make a video on step to working on self-worth after narcissistic abuse? Oh, yeah. Shoot. Maybe I should do that one next and do the CPTSD one afterwards. Actually, I did that not too long ago. I did do a video on self-esteem. So look for that. I think I'm going to stick with the CPTSD one, but yes, I can, and I might actually answer that in a Q&A video. So there is that. But yeah, I did. Yeah. So really quickly, because I can't avoid this one, because I really want to tell you guys how to work on yourself. The self-esteem workbook, Glenn Schiraldi, absolutely. If you don't like the structure, because he's very structured, I personally like the structure because I need structure. So the self-esteem workbook by Glenn Schiraldi, love that. The other one is You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero. That's a great book. Both of them are really good. Mirror work, like a boss. Mirror work. So what you do is you get up in the morning, you go look in the mirror and you say, hi, good to see you. Because how does that feel when somebody says it's good to see you? Hi, good to see you. Have a great day. You've just programmed your subconscious to have a great day. I give you permission to say no, or I give you permission to work on boundaries, or I give you permission to like yourself. Whatever it is you are working on that day, give yourself permission to do it. So it's going to be a combination of working on your self-esteem with the workbooks, doing the mirror work, giving yourself permission, but you're also going to want to work on boundaries. Because remember, antisocial, narcissists, they mow over boundaries like they weren't even there. So The Disease to Please by Harriet Breaker, Beyond Codependent No More, and Codependent No More by Melanie Beattie, any book by Pia Melody. There's a ton of codependent books out there that will help you with boundaries. So yeah, absolutely. So that's how you start. That's how you start. Journal, 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 journal. Anything that the abuser said to you that was bogus, that, that stuff, they tried to make you wrong for their stuff, journal it out, challenge it, journal it out, challenge it, or write them a go pound sand letter. Dear abuser, the good, the bad, the ugly, because there is going to be a little bit of good in there. Otherwise we would not have gotten involved with them. And the good is usually the mirroring. So the good, the bad, the ugly, the horrific. And at the very end, you let them have it with both barrels, whatever you need to say, because they're never going to read it. You are not going to send it. Ooh, don't you send that. No contact. So don't send the letter, but you're going to write it. At the very end, you let them have it, and then you trot it out to the barbecue, read it out loud once like a Declaration of Independence, put it in the barbecue, light it on fire, send it to the universe. Bye-bye. Bye-bye now. I'm letting you go. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Have a nice life. Bye-bye. Go pound sand. Bye-bye. Bye-bye now. Do you see where I'm going with that? So yeah, so that's what you want to do. So, and I will talk more about that because I do like talking about self-esteem because it's such a great thing to see clients come back in and go, oh, the mirror work actually worked. I thought it was stupid at first. Well, yeah, because it feels weird because we're not used to talking to ourselves in a nice way. And we're not used to saying it out loud. And we're not used to talking to ourselves in the mirror. We're just not, because we get made fun of, because little kids do it all the time. Do you ever watch kids in the mirror? It's so cute. They'll sit there and they'll just babble, and smile and laugh, make faces and all sorts of stuff. And they don't stop doing that until some adult makes them wrong for it, or some other kid who's got an adult that's a jerk that made them wrong for it. And so they're just spewing their own abuse. So yeah, so go play in the mirror and make sure it's all positive. And if it's negative, that's the internal critic. That's when you tell the internal critic to go pound sand. Thank you for playing. I am not playing. Why? Because I say so. I am the boss. I am a good person. I do have the right to talk to myself in the mirror. I can give myself positive affirmations. Why? Because I say so. You're the boss. Okay. How does one deal with a narcissist who refuses to accept the end of a relationship, romantic or otherwise? Oh boy, that is called get an order of protection. So what you're going to do is you are going to send them one quick email or text, screenshot it, that it was sent. Please stop bothering me. I am now blocking you on every single avenue. Do not attempt to come near me again. If you do, I will get an order of protection. You can do that. I don't like letting them know I'm going to get an order of protection. I just would rather just be like, please stop bothering me. Because legally, you need to let them know, stop bothering me. I've already told you, stop bothering me. Then if they contact you again, get all of your emails together, all your texts together, everything together, go to your local courthouse, fill it out, and, explain to the judge is going to go, okay, well, tell me about this, or, they'll ask you and stuff like that. They don't generally with me because I'm a therapist. So they kind of know it's like, if somebody's stalking me, it's because they're crazy. So, that's what you're going to do. And, you give them the warning shot across the bow. Please stop bothering me. We're done. Don't text me. Don't email me. Don't call me. Don't show up at my job. Don't show up at my house. I'm not interested. Have a nice life. I wish you well. Goodbye. Right? And then you block them on everything. Social media, email, text. You warn your HR department. You warn your security guards. You warn, family and friends. You tell neighbors, and you put cameras up around your house. So, that's scary, because you're dealing with somebody who is not dealing with reality. And that's when it gets a little dicey. So I have done videos on stalkers. So go look through my list of videos on what to do if you are being stalked. I would strongly suggest that you take a self-defense course. I would also strongly suggest that you carry whatever is legal in your state. I conceal carry. I also have pepper spray. So, whatever you're comfortable with, do that. So yeah, absolutely. Hope that answers the question. Would it be common for a narcissist to send a letter saying, I hope you can forgive me? Oh yeah. Trying to make the victim feel guilty. Absolutely. While still never saying I'm sorry or ask what's wrong. Yeah. That's called a hoover. That's called the I'm sorry hoover. So yeah, they try to pique your interest. They try, fishing. They try to grab you with the I'm finally taking acknowledgement of what happened, but they're not, because a real apology would be, I'm sorry, I hurt you. I own that. I see what I did. I am taking personal responsibility for that. They will never say that. That's what that phrase will never be heard on this or any other planet from a narcissist. Just letting you know that right now. They're never going to be like, oh yeah, I take responsibility for that. Yes, I did that. No, they're never going to do that. No, sirree, Bob. They are never going to do that. So yeah, it's a hoover. It's a hoover. Block them. Block them. Block them on email. Block them on whatever. Now, if they're sending you physical letters and you're done again, you could send it, return receipt. Please don't ever email, or please don't ever mail me again. I will not accept your letters. We're done. Goodbye. Right? Pictures and send it off, and make sure it's signed receipt, so that if they say they never got it, you can be like, oh, funny, you did. So yeah, anyway, so there's that. So yeah, that absolutely, and then get an order of protection against them. So yeah. And yeah, it's the hoover. They'll do all sorts of hoovers. So somebody was saying something about a medical hoover. They had a medical hoover done on them. So the person oh, I'm dying, but they've been dying for the last, 40 years kind of thing. Or I've got, some disease and you need to talk to me, or I've got the will and you need to talk to me, or, I've become religious and you need to talk to me. No, if these people have been abusive to you, they don't have the right. They don't have the right. They lost their privilege. They lost their privilege. It is a privilege to be in a relationship with an empath. I love that. Can I just say that again? It is a privilege to be in a relationship with an empath. They've lost their privileges. They don't get to be in a relationship with you. So no contact. Okay. Any good books you can recommend for Machiavellianism? Tell them to read The Prince by Nikolai Machiavelli. So Nikolai Machiavelli is the author of The Prince, and I talked about that earlier. It was written in the, I want to say 1600s, 1500s. I don't think it was any later than the 1600s. Anyway, so that would be the book to read. So it's The Prince, just The Prince by Nikolai Machiavelli, and it's Machiavelli. So there it is. And it's basically a handbook for dictators. Seriously, you're going to read it and you're going to be like, what the? Yeah, it's a handbook for dictators. It's just yeah. Myanmar, anyone? Don't get me started. Okay. What's the difference between remorse and being worried that someone might realize they're abusers? I grew up hearing my mom say that she was trying to be the best mom. Okay. So the difference between remorse and manipulation. Let's talk about that. Hang on just a second. Oh my God, it is so dry here. Holy cow. All right. So remorse and manipulation. Remorse is a real apology. Remorse is doing something. It has action involved with it. So in other words, a real apology is, oh my God, I realize I did this, and this. I have since taken steps to fix it. I'm in therapy. I'm in a 12-step program. I'm, whatever it is that needs to be fixed gets fixed, right? They're not just, the words. Okay. So actions always speak louder than words. Always. Actions always speak louder than words. If there is an apology without an action, they're not really sorry. So there has to be an action involved in that. Either they've worked on themselves, they've gone through therapy, they're willing to put you through therapy, they're willing to do therapy with you to work on and repair whatever was damaged. They're going through 12-step programs, they're writing letters of amends, they're doing what it takes to make it right? Amends, that kind of thing. And if it's just, oh, I'm sorry, I feel really remorseful. Well, how nice for you. Where's your actions? And that's another case where it's like, yeah, okay, don't call us, we'll call you. Bye-bye now. Not having anything to do with you. Actions and words don't match. So if somebody's just giving you pretty words, that's not an apology. That is not an apology. A true apology is, I am sorry, I hurt you. So it's ownership. I take ownership for hurting you. I know I hurt you. How can I fix this? What do you need? How can I make this better? How can I show you that I really am incredibly remorseful and I am taking action? What do you need? It's not about the person. It's about the other person. Does that make sense? If they're not doing that, bye-bye now, bye-bye. Do you see where I'm going with that? So yeah, absolutely. Okay. Why does Machiavellianism run strong in families that have a strong power dynamic amongst each other? Because it's a pissing match is what that is. It's like, who's the alpha male? Who's the alpha female? Who's going to win? It's in families where there is a strong amount of narcissism or antisocial, especially narcissism. It's going to be this, I need to win at all costs. And it's a competition. Everything's a competition. And therefore I need to be the king or queen on top and I have to control. So yeah, that's probably why. If you look at the dynamics, you're probably going to see a lot of personality disorders. So yeah. Do toxic family systems ever change? No. If the toxic family system is narcissistic, antisocial, dark triad, no. This original thing is not going to get better. The kids, however, If they recognize, oh my God, mom and dad were cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, I need to get myself into therapy. Yeah, that can change. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's breaking that generational dysfunction. So the kids who see the dysfunction are usually the ones that are designated as the scapegoat or the black sheep, because the abusers don't like them because they can see the pink elephant taking a crap in the corner of the living room, and they don't like that. They don't want their abuse to be seen clearly. So when the kids get out and they start their own family, and if they're working on themselves, yeah, they can break that generational abuse if they get help. If they don't, they'll just unconsciously continue it down through the generations. So yeah. Okay. I oscillate between hating my family one day and feeling the incredible urge to save them the other. Is this codependency or trauma bond at work? It's the trauma bond. So let's talk about trauma bonds. Abusers, what they are doing is they are not always horrible. If they were, we would leave like immediately, because it would just be so unrelentingly horrible. We would just be like, oh, I'm out of here. Bye. But what they do is love, 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 hate. Love, 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 hate. Love, hate. Love, 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 hate. Love, 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 hate. They do this intermittent positive rewards. They throw it in every once in a while, and then we start living for those days when they behave like a healthy, normal family, or they behave in a loving way, or they behave in a supportive way, or they behave in the way that we wish they always would behave, right? So they do that. They do this intermittent positive rewards thing where we get stuck. Literally, it's a little kid inside of us just going, but they were nice this one time. Once. It's like Johnny Dangerously. I don't know if you remember that movie, but Joe Piscopo, where he goes, my mother did that to me once. It's the same thing. It's like once. They were nice once. That out of how many years? That's not normal. So it's like normal families have their ups and downs, but it's like minuscule. It is not, Mount Everest down to the bottom of the ocean, Mount Everest down to the bottom of the ocean. And that's what abusers put us through, because that is trauma bonding. That is what trauma bonding is. They create this love you, hate you, love you, hate you, love you, hate you, love you, hate you, love you, hate you thing, where we start living for the moments when they love us, not realizing that it's fake. They don't really love. People who love don't torture people that love them. Okay. That's not love. If it hurts, it ain't love, so, yeah, that is trauma bonding. You want to be careful about that. So I would definitely, you can't save them. You can't save them. You can't. It's beyond your means, unless they really are interested in getting help. You cannot save them. You did not break them. It's not your job. It's not your job. So The Disease to Please by Harriet Breaker, Codependent No More, Beyond Codependent No More, Bellany Beatty, Pia Melody has a book on codependency. There's a bunch of good codependency books out there. There's a bunch of good boundary books out there. Read them. You cannot save another person. You can't. You can show them the right way. You can be like, okay, here's the hard way that you're going down now. Here's the easier way. Now, initially, this one looks easier, but it's actually harder. Initially, this one looks harder, but it's actually easier. Your choice, that kind of thing. You can't save them. It's not your job. It's not your job. And if they're making you feel like that's your job, then that's codependency. So that's being groomed to be a caregiver, being groomed to be a caregiver, being groomed to take care of people, being groomed to save people. That's all codependency. So yeah, for sure. Do narc parents have sexual relations / incest with their own children? Yes. Very often. Also, it's usually ASPD. It's usually the combination of the two. It's the dark triad. If so, do the children wake up to the abuse? Yeah, in some cases, yes. In some cases, no. So I don't know if you've read my book, which is What's Wrong with Your Dad? He did sexually molest me. And yeah, I knew there was something wrong with my family, and I got out as soon as I could, and got myself into therapy and started working on all of that. So yeah, and generally it is the dark triads that do that, because you're an object to them. I mean, we have no more meaning to them than this pen. So, and we are to be used in their minds. That's what they think. So don't get me started. But yeah, they do, because they don't view, narcissists do not view individuals as individuals. Narcissists view everything as an extension of their own ego. They view everybody as an extension of their own ego. Their children don't have their own wants or needs or desires or whatever. They're just an extension of them. And if they want to use them, they will. which is also antisocial. So yeah, yeah, they do that. Absolutely, they do that. That's why it is so. Not all of them. Now, let me caveat that not all narcissists go down that route, but a good portion of them do. So that's why it is so heartbreaking to have to see a child go 50% with a parent that you know is not right. So I honestly, I would love to see the family court system be completely overhauled. I would love to see the judges actually trained. But then again, most of the judges are disordered themselves. Oops, did I say that out loud? Yes, I did. So yeah, I would love to see them trained in personality disorders, because that is going to be 99.9999999% of the people that they see come through their court doors looking for custody. That's usually what is going on. So yeah, it is a good portion of them do that. Not all, but a good portion. Here's the other thing. If they know they're being watched, they won't. If they know there's a second set or a third set of eyes on them, they won't do it. But if they don't think anybody's watching, you betcha. So yeah, I hope that answered your question. And yeah, you can wake up to it, and you can survive it, and you can overcome it, and you can help other people. So there you go. Again, you should read my book, What's Wrong with Your Dad? So it's available on my website, chrisgodinez.com. You can also get it on Amazon, and I do it on Audible because I read it because I don't like other people reading my stuff. I like reading my stuff. So there we go. Because there was, oh my gosh, which one did I not like? The Pete Walker one, the guy's voice. Oh my God, it was like fingernails on a blackboard. So yeah, that's why I read my own stuff. All right. Okay. How does one deal with a Machiavellian control freak if I am triggered and genuinely intimidated by him? Well, it depends on the situation. Is this a person that you have to work for? Is this a parent? Is this a romantic relationship? If somebody is being a control freak and manipulating and you're scared of them, you probably want to get away from them. That would be my suggestion. You can't fix them. You can't, because the whole control freak thing is an ego defense thing. It is. It's a way to stay safe in their minds and be in control and be right and never have anybody question them, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So if they are a control freak and you are triggered and you are genuinely intimidated, get away. Get away. Either get a new job, get out of that relationship, go no contact, whatever you need to do to stay safe. That is not normal. That kind of level of control freak is not normal. Now, there's, obviously, and I'm going to talk more about this next week, when you've been abused, you're going to be hyper aware, right? So there is that kind of aspect of wanting to control things to keep yourself safe, but it is not to the level, and this is what I'm talking about, CPTSD over here. The Machiavellian stuff, this is beyond. This is like intentional, it is manipulative, it is malice of forethought, I think is a good way to put it. It's how can I stay in control? How can I manipulate? How can I control? How can I hurt? How can I harm? It's with malice. It is with malice. That's the difference. So yeah, I hope that answered that question. Okay. Oh, goodness. All right, my loves. So that is it for this week. Next week, I want to talk about CPTSD. I want to talk about depression. I want to talk about hypervigilance. I want to talk about all the things that happens to us when we leave that relationship, whether it's family or whether it's friends or whether it's a boss or whether it's a romantic relationship. I want to talk about the after effects of leaving. So that's probably what I'm going to name it, is the after effects of leaving. Because we get depressed, we get withdrawals, all of the serotonins, dopamines, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Woo! They mess with us. So I want to talk about CPTSD, hypervigilance, hyperawareness, hyperarousal, the need to control in a way to stay safe. So the after effects, the depression, that type of thing. So we're going to talk about the after effects of leaving. So there is that. All right. Cannot think of anything else. Remember BetterHelp.com/Chris Godinez if you are looking for a therapist online. That is it. All right, my loves. Have a wonderful week, and I will find my cursor. Where did it go? All right. And I will talk to you next week. And I'm going to do a Q&A session in the middle of this week. Haven't decided what the questions are, but if there are other questions that I didn't get to hit, I will try to answer those. All right, guys. Talk to you later. Bye.